Good morning.
Good morning.
How are all of you celebrators doing? All right. So I'm going to ask for a little participation here.
Okay. Yes.
So if you will, in yourself, repeat after me. I know what I've done.
I know what I've done.
Think about what you just said. I know I lie.
I know I lie.
I know I cheat.
I know I cheat.
I know I hide.
I know I hide.
I know I get afraid.
I know I get afraid.
And things that I do, I know are of my own making.
And things that I do, I know are of my own making.
Hence why we get into today's lecture topic. Apologies. Have you ever met anyone who never apologized? It's a possibility. Do you think they may live a little constricted life? Really? Maybe wind up with high blood pressure? Anyhow, it's a possibility. So, the point of this is to consider different apologies and how they may actually help you in living your life. Because not all apologies work the same. I think the one that most of us grew up with was, I'm sorry. And the answer to that is, you got that right. Well, consider, I'm sorry. What does that say about you? What are you saying about yourself? Now, more than likely, you're trying to reach an apology that will match the deed done. Right? I mean, that's what apologies are all about. Things that either we did or we didn't do, which is a didn't do doing. Okay, so when we ask for someone to acknowledge our apology and they don't give it, how do you feel? That just compounds the fact, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Because if you ask for someone to acknowledge your apology and they do not do it, then it can be very revealing to you see, because then you're going to look at yourself and you're going to then wonder, why did I even go there? What was I trying to accomplish? Was I seeking some kind of feedback from this person? And here they are not giving it? How does that make you feel? Like maybe you'll never apologize to that person again as long as you live. Right? Think about it. We're talking with regard to relationships, human relationships. We all make mistakes. We all do things either deliberately or inadvertently that can cause another to suffer. If in that relationship we find ourselves looking for another to acknowledge our acknowledgement of what we did, then it might serve us better to come to another place and say, wait a minute, I'm the one who did this. I'm the one who needs to acknowledge my apology. I'm the one who needs to then do something about accepting me instead of putting it on somebody else to accept me. Sometimes that can really cause you to look again at your relationship with yourself that you then tend to act out with others. Now, there are three basic apologies that I'm going to bring forward here. One is, I'm sorry. Let's hear you say it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay. How does that feel? Feel good? It's kind of a less than statement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about energy here. You see, we are energy beings. And everything we say, everything we do, is an expression of our energy. So if we have done something and we're trying to make it better or equalize it by making a statement about it, then saying I'm sorry more than likely isn't going to do it. Then you can go to what you might could say is another approach, and that is you ask the other person, forgive me. Forgive me. So let me hear you say it.
Forgive me.
Again.
Forgive me.
Is it hard to do? It can be. Because you're asking for another person to open their hearts and to actually embrace you when you have just committed an act that might appear to be against them. And you're saying, please forgive me. Now, if you take that same message and you apply it to yourself, in yourself, about yourself, and you say, I forgive me. Then what you're doing is you're opening up your heart to allow another vibration to start taking the place of feeling bad about what you did. And that can be love. You see, to engage in forgiveness can open the heart door to where love then comes in and replaces and brings to a place of perhaps even greater balance in the situation. Because if you ask forgiveness of another, and you also at the same time forgive yourself, then you are definitely rising to the occasion. We come to a place of, we get closer to inner peace. And when you think about it, when you do something that you feel bad about doing or not doing, your peace is covered up, the energy of it is lost, your relationship to peace is misplaced for the time being. Then the other apology that you can bring forth is, I apologize. Now, you can even carry it on farther, but before you do, just say, I apologize.
I apologize.
How does that feel? It's better than I'm sorry, right?
Yes.
Really. I mean, everybody knows you're sorry. And what you're trying to do is get to the place of stop believing that yourself and then just come to apologizing for being such a sorry person. Hey, trust me, this is a tough subject. And it's one because we have not been well versed, we have not been properly educated in learning that we make mistakes all the time. And it's best to go ahead and acknowledge them as quickly as possible. And let that energy begin to dissipate and be replaced by something finer. So, you might even go on to say, I apologize for my behavior. I apologize for what I just said. It can help insofar as making the adjustments as you continue to move on with life. Why would we go through all of this, by the way? What's the object of it?
Helps us open up our hearts.
Yes, yes.
Become more aware.
Then when you do, what's there to experience?
Become more aware.
Yeah. How about peace? Wouldn't you say that after you've done something that's caused a disruption with regard to a peaceful cohabitation, that you'd want to then be able to get back to that, or at least move along to where you reconnect in a peaceful way? Different people that I have met in my life have been so powerfully influential in helping me get to a place of letting go of wrongdoings, either things that I have done or things that have been done to me. By stepping forward and letting go of that and moving to the actual dimension of wherever we are. So that by their living that, they help me to realize I too can live that. I can let go of what I was holding on to. Because we talk about this, and another word to describe it is grudge. You hold a grudge. Or you hold on to what wrong you did, and you're holding it against yourself. Well, either way that you do it, it's still radiating a denser, lower set of frequencies that keeps you locked into that frame of living. So eventually, I have begun to catch on to taking care of what I need to take care of in the moment, or realizing that whatever wrong I perceived as being done, that it's not going to do me any good to hold on to it as I used to, and that was have it become a living legend of who Clark is. I've learned to let go of that. And in its place, I've learned to become more present. And stop and think about it now. We have been for years encouraged to be present. And in our being present, to open up and accept what is. Apologies, in whatever form you use, can help you accomplish that because you're more able to actually accept it for what it is instead of hanging on to it and let it become a whole nother distortioned experience that you tend to identify with. So, when you said all these things in the beginning, now after hearing just these few words, you see that apologies can also help you to reach that place of being present. And as you are present, then you are much more consciously available to see things as they are instead of unconsciously going into it and blurting out something that you regret having said. It really does help you to avoid unnecessary conflicts. Many of the things that wind up as conflicts could have been avoided if people just paid attention. And when I say people, I'm including myself. I may not be including you because you may be way beyond that. So we'll include the rest of the people who are like me in the process of learning that we can avoid unnecessary conflicts if we'll pay attention. We can also put ourselves in a position of willingness to admit when we have made a mistake and bring forth the necessary expression that will convey that to another so that the possibility for peace will become more available. Have an appreciation for peace. See, it really is a good way to live. So that in yourself you can then open up and instead of saying, I'm continuing to be a cheater and a liar, I'm continuing to dodge my self-responsibility, we can open up with the truth and say, you know what? I'm doing the best that I can right now. I'm owning my life. I accept myself. Let's hear you say that.
I accept myself.
As I am.
As I am.
I am imperfectly perfect.
I am perfectly perfect.
Or, if you don't like the sound of that, I'm perfectly imperfect.
I'm perfectly imperfect.
Either way, I know my path. I know my place. I know forgiveness. I know apology. And I know how it works. Because the ultimate of this is I know peace.
I know peace.
Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.